Hello and welcome to episode 29 of Rival Banter. I'm one of your hosts, Luke Croft, and joining me, as always, my esteemed co host. He has two eyes, two ears, a chin, a mouth, 10 fingers, two nipples, a butt, two kneecaps, a penis. Ladies and gentlemen, Seth Martin.
I don't even know what to do with that. I was, I was waiting for something to be incongruous, like 3 nipples,
No?
11
Is that all that
toes.
accurate? I mean, is all that accurate? Some of it I've not
Yeah, no,
confirmed.
I think you hit the nail on the head.
No, that's from The Office. That's when Creed's describing the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, yeah.
How's your week going, my friend?
It's going well, just playing the game, playing other games when I can, and doing full-time work stuff. But otherwise, it's been a good week. How about you?
Yeah, it's been pretty solid. Just working. I've been driving my new truck around. I've got myself a,
Truck man.
a Ford F-150, but the electric version to keep it liberal. Uh, and I'm loving it, man. It's been a wonderful addition to my life. I was without a
Something about
car
a
for
truck.
like close to 4 years, so it's been really nice.
Not because he's poor, but just because he lived in Los Angeles, and there was
Yeah,
well, I guess LA is a car place, but
yeah. LA is not. Uh, so we sold it right before we moved to LA, and my thought was, oh, I can just take public transportation to work and shit. And then you
mm-mm.
get to LA and you realize public transportation itself is shit. But I made it work, and so yeah, we were a one car family for a long time, but now we are back to a two car family, and my truck takes up the entire driveways.
Yeah, buddy.
But it's awesome. I kind of had a moment. I don't know, Seth. You've made some big purchases in your life. Have you ever experienced like buyer's remorse?
Usually it comes way later when I'm just getting tired of making a payment or whatever.
Mm,
But yeah, I don't know. Like I really enjoy the process. I love being treated like I'm a king. Like people hold the door open for you. They're offering to get you stuff. That part, like the shopping, I really enjoy. But I don't know. Like I haven't gotten anything that I don't like. But are you going kind of through that now? Or are you like second guessing
no,
the
not
decision?
now. Not now. It was like right after I got the keys and walked out of the dealership, and I
Hmm.
was just kind of like, wait a minute, should I have done this? Like, I've never owned an electric car before. I've never owned a truck before. It's the most expensive purchase outside of a home I've ever made. So
Is it a fully electric truck?
yeah, fully
Oh,
electric.
wow, wow. So do you have to get like special stuff installed at your house or anything like that,
No,
or how does
I
that
don't
work?
drive enough to need all that. I'm literally charging it off of just like a 110 outlet, like just a regular outlet.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But you know, I drove home. The seat was all uncomfortable. I got stuck on the Blue Ridge Parkway behind some other person who had just bought a new car and refused to go even 10 miles an hour close to the speed limit. And so I think I was just kind of agitated by the whole thing. Um,
Yeah.
but I got up the next morning. I went out. I got my seat all adjusted, and I was like, I'm just gonna find an excuse to leave the house today. Drove it, fell in love. Was like, I made the right choice. And then this weekend,
Yeah.
drove it.
Yeah. It is nerve-wracking. Let's see, the couple other cars I've bought, I mean, I enjoy it. I think the last time I did it, I was just like, I didn't want to be in the situation to buy a car, so that kinda soured the mood a little bit. But that was when we had a huge hailstorm here, and it totaled, the kinda
Mm,
older truck that I had, and then so I wanted to get another truck. We kind of agreed as a team to go with a minivan, and so, like, that kinda automatically I'm like, "Well, I'm buying something I'm not, like, super in love with." And I would rather just have had the truck that I had to begin with, But it all works out. I enjoy having the van. It's nice. I think I'm gonna go back to my truck ways
yeah.
next time.
I never realized you even had a truck. So this is,
Yeah, it was while you were away, but
mm,
it was like a 20. What year was it? Like a 2012 Honda Ridgeline. Same one your parents used to
Oh
have, but
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
in a dark gray, yeah. Like the real one of those kind of like a pug. They're so ugly. They're kind of cool looking.
Yeah, they've changed the Ridgeline now. The Ridgeline just looks like a regular truck, but yeah, back then it kind of looked like
Yeah,
a spaceship.
yeah. So I enjoyed it. I miss it, but it had to go.
I understand. This is Rival Banter. We get together every week and we talk about all things Marvel Rivals, and we push it out on podcast services everywhere and over on YouTube. Just search for Rival Banter. And if you want to check us out on social media, we have an Instagram and a TikTok that we post to regularly at Rival Banter. Very easy to remember. Wherever you're listening to us, engaging with us, make sure you're following, liking, sharing, subscribing. We appreciate you and we love you. We are going to get to some of your comments right now. So let's see, Seth, I tried to give a little bit more context in case I kick one over to you to read so that you kind of know what they're responding to, right? But we posted up a video last week talking about if Marvel Rivals needs a PvE mode, and we got a couple comments. One of them is from Hayden is Rotting. It says waves of Doombots or Marvel zombies would be dope.
I really like that idea. I like it a lot. And they both make a lot of sense. I mean, you could even do like waves of like Ultron bots or whatever, or
Mhm.
maybe like rogue Iron Man suits or whatever flying around. There's a huge number of possibilities. What are the Thanos minions called from like Endgame? Those guys, little aliens.
No idea.
You could do anything. I always like do this thing when I read people's names where I know what it says, but I want it to say something different. I wanted this to be Hadinus rotting. I don't know what that means, but whatever.
I like that. I'm sure Hayden would appreciate that too. Yeah, I love the idea, especially the Marvel zombie stuff. I was actually making a TikTok for us a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about Halloween skins, and I looked up just Marvel zombies, and I have a Marvel like an actual physical Marvel zombies comic that I bought at like Ollie's years ago, and I've never
Mhm.
read it, but I love just looking at the art in it because it looks so cool. And all of the art in all the images that popped up when I just Google image search Marvel zombies were so cool. So if they can figure out ways to work that into the game, I'm all about it.
And if they don't, I mean, that's lost potential. I mean, then it's a gold mine too. Then those comics have a lot of really cool stories in them. At least like the first kind of, I feel like that's one that started off really strong, and then like as it changed hands, kind of like maybe wasn't as great as it went on, but still a lot of room for a lot of cool stories there. I'm kind of excited that show starts like next week or something like that.
Oh, they're doing a Marvel zombie show.
Kind of, so it's not like probably as well. I don't know. It might be pretty gruesome, but so they if you watched What If, they had like one maybe two episodes. I remember at least one it wasn't called Marvel Zombies, but it was a Marvel Zombie episode of that show. So they're doing like an animated show kind of like that. I guess maybe it's set in that um multiverse, that in that particular universe too. But yeah, I'm excited for that. Looks a lot of fun. They dropped a trailer last week or 2 weeks ago, somewhere in that ballpark, and it looks pretty gruesome and gory, kind of unexpectedly so for a Disney product. But I'm stoked.
Yeah, I might have to check that out. It sounds really cool. Then this Wessel says, "Nah, big ass boss fights, MMO style." And when I imagine like a PVE horde mode, I imagine after so many waves, you do have one of these kind of giant ass boss fights. Like, why do we have to choose one or the other?
Yeah, I like that idea too. Like it makes me think like if you're fighting a bunch of Ultron bots or Iron Man suits, maybe you fight like a Hulk Buster, like the big tank Iron Man suit or whatever. Or maybe it's a big Doom bot, maybe it's Doctor Doom. He's in this universe already. Like you've got two of them, so why not maybe use one of them as kind of this like damn it like bullet sponge or something like that you can just lay into after a few phases.
Yeah, I love the idea of it being sort of like a old school Mortal Kombat game. You know how like you did the ladder in Mortal Kombat, and it was always a randomized list of opponents up until you got like the last two, right? So if it was like a bunch of Doom bots or something, right? Maybe the first 10 waves kind of randomize what that mini boss is, but you're always going to end up at like Ultron at the very end. And that's why we were talking a little bit last week about the idea of like uh sort of a roguelike where you're kind of picking your upgrades after the waves and stuff like that, and maybe adding new abilities to your character, or just increasing their stats or something like that. But yeah, I would love like multiple waves that end in mini bosses that just kind of end in a really big boss at the end that you have to make sure you've kind of worked your team composition together through the roguelike thing. I think for a mode like that though, you wouldn't want it to be 6 players, right? Like that would only be a mode that would be really fun with like sort of like Destiny raids, like with doing it with a group of people that you know how to do, like know how to
Yeah,
play
and
with.
I mean, wasn't that how the Overwatch modes went? Wasn't it like 3 people or something like that, 3 or 4?
Yeah, that sounds right, but I can't quite remember.
Okay. Yeah, it's been quite a while since I've played anything like that.
All right, Seth, why don't you hit us with this next comment about the season pass?
I'm gonna hit you. I'm keyed in, or I'm key Eden says the skins that cost money should be themed. The free ones should be off the theme and allow a lot more artistic expression. I like that idea. I think that's kind of a cool way to mix it up. Like kind of like we've got a lot of these beach skins right now. Maybe making all of them exclusively on this theme, and then any free skins just kind of be out there, kind of something just totally different. Or if it's like within one pass, make the paid skins unanimous, like they're one theme, and then any of the other random wild stuff, just kind of go crazy, do what you want to do, make some original designs or something like that. Could be cool.
Yeah, when you kind of look at the battle pass uh, for this season, it's not quite like this, right? But like the premium skins are the ones that I think are a little bit more aligned to a
It's
theme.
closer.
Yeah, and then the free skins are the like old school Captain America skin and the Trial of Magneto skin, which are kind of pulled from adapted from other media, right? And so I think that's maybe the opposite direction that, that he's thinking about, where like the freed ones are kind of not necessarily mailed in. I think they're cool to us because we recognize them from those other pieces of media, but I also get with like when you're thinking about just development costs and like resources and stuff like that, right? Like the money that I mean the skins that you're investing, your internal resources, your internal designers and concept artists and all that stuff to like make from end to end. I would get why you would want those things to be your premium skins, to be your paid skins, because you want to recoup the sunk cost that you've put into it with the labor that goes into it. But all that being said, I don't really even think this season has much of a cohesive feeling theme to begin with. So I don't think. I mean, I guess we are getting like the summer skins in the second wave of those, and those are a lot more themed and obviously paid skins. But I don't feel like the season pass itself. I don't know. You've had a chance to now kind of look at it for yourself, Seth. Does our point still kind of stand, or it doesn't feel like it's got a real central theme to it?
I think so. I mean, like you can kind of tell there's something there, but it's not just kind of as universal and like just kind of saturated throughout the pass. I feel like so it's got a little bit of a lot of different stuff, and I'm totally cool with that. Again, like I like this idea from I'm keyed in, but this kind of I feel like is getting closer and closer to that.
Mhm. Fat Nut says, first pass I didn't buy. Everything I liked is free, so there's no need to buy it. And Seth, you were kind of talking about this last week, how the two skins you're most excited about in this pass are the free ones.
So I number one, I don't know who you people are with these names. Fat Nut. And I like that it's spelled with a P, but all right, yeah, you're braver than I am. Fat Nuts. Yeah, now I bought this pass, but is this talking about this season
Yeah.
pass or is it talking about okay. I don't know. Like I'm down for at least this regular season passes to buy them, if nothing else, to kind of just like make sure I've got all the stuff that I need, like any card. Are the cards free, like the kind of background images or whatever?
I'm not
I know
sure.
like some of the seasonal events they are, but or most of those they are, but
Yeah, I never
um
pay close enough attention because I just know I'm going to buy it. So I don't really
yeah,
look at what's free and what's premium.
that's kind of where I'm at. Like I just something about the season passes. I just want them just because I'm in love with the game, for better or for worse. So, but yeah, I totally get this. A lot of the cool stuff is free, and so like if you're not really in that zone where you feel like you want to have all the stuff, then yeah, don't buy the pass. Just kind of buy something else that you do want. You save your gold, save your units or whatever, and use it how you want to use it later on.
For sure. All right, Seth, hit us with this next one. We asked people about Resource Rumble and what their thoughts are on it.
So Wagon Slayer Wes says, I appreciate the capitalization of that name. It kind of removes the need for the imagination. I think it's an amazing mode and my favorite thus far. Cool use of thus, my dude. I definitely think they need more maps that are brighter or even daytime. God forbid. I would love to see it in comp for a refreshing change. I definitely vibe with this. Like, just give me. I think this season is doing a little bit better of a job of that. Like, at least in the like menu screen or like the as soon as you enter the game, you've got kind of a nice, bright, shiny, beautiful scene of Kunlun or whatever. So that's cool. I'd like to see a little bit more of that reflected in the game, kind of moving forward.
Yeah, I have to imagine if they do end up adding this to comp, it will be alongside a new map for the mode because they're not going to put this mode into comp. I would say with just one singular map, but I do think that a lot of look, I we talked about it last week. There is something that feels a little bit off about the mode, like it's missing a certain something or what have you. But I do think that there was probably some Clintar fatigue by when it was all said and done, and then just being kind of pigeonholed into another Clintar map anytime you wanted to play this mode. At least to me, kind of felt bad. So I'm all about like show me other permutations of maps for this mode, and then I'll start to form a better opinion of it. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I played some resource. I had a resource rumble game today. I hopped on right after work just to play a couple, and it's the first resource rumble game that like lasted forever. Like we got to that third point, and I guess my team was just trickling so much that were stalling them out from making progress because somebody was just always touching it. But
Mhm.
uh, yeah, I do kind of get the criticism when you get to that third point where it feels like, man, those first 2 points that we fought for didn't really matter because that tug of war is so much of just like the central part of the game mode. Um, and yeah, you can like wipe the floor with the team for on one point, and then they can just get enough to make sure that they're allowed to rumble on the third point, and then it's really anybody's game from there.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. It's got a lot of potential, and I think we've both had a lot of fun with it. It's just, I think it needs a little bit more in several different areas. We've talked that to death, but I mean, definitely on, if anything, if nothing else, it needs another map and something with a different vibe, or at least different kind of theme or energy to it.
Mm-hmm. Then I be shitting. And I actually really appreciate this name because the capital letters are IBS. So
Yeah, as he put some, this person put some thought into that, and
mhm.
it gets an A+ in my book.
They said what they should have is a big team rumble where there are 8 players in a game and multiple points to dominate like the new mode, but make them all active at the same time with the team controlling the majority being the one that's gaining points. This would force multiply team battles. I'm sorry, this would force multiple team battles at different objectives and force teams to split up while trying to maintain a viable comp with less than 6 players per point. So that's kind of just like domination, right? In COD.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking domination. There, those like the kind of bigger modes in Call of Duty or like in Battlefield where you're kind of doing the same thing. You're fighting for control of multiple zones at the same time. Usually, those are with bigger teams. Domination probably is the closest to this, and I really like that idea. I kind of thought that that's what this was going to be when we first heard of Resource Rumble. It kind of just looked like that or reminded me of it. But I like the idea for this. It plays around with like what a composition is and how you navigate these fights. It's kind of, if nothing else, like it'd be nice to have that Overwatch mode, which I always forget the name of, but with the two capture points, and they can both be taken at the same time. You can try to take one, like you can kind of. It depends match to match, team to team, how you're fighting over those points. It can be two big teams fighting against each other. It can be, two squads of three, like however you want to roll it, or however you need to do. You can have floaters going between the 2 points or whatever. But I'm totally down for something like that in the future.
Yeah. When he said big team rumble, I thought teams bigger than 8 because and like look, I don't know anything about the lore of Marvel, but I've seen commercials, and isn't like Infinity War and like those movies all about just like the large collective of heroes getting together to fight some big battle?
Those are like the big Avengers movies, yeah. Like you, especially the later ones when it's just like all out. Yeah, you get like those moments where it's just everybody you can think of just going ham against against the aliens or against the big boss and a squad of aliens. Usually it's aliens or robots, something like that.
Yeah, so I think I would love the idea of like a one-off mode where it's even bigger teams than just 8 players, that it's like just a huge collection. Maybe it is enough people that for each of the 3 points that you can have, a full squad go to each point and fight over it or something like that. And then you can decide like what point to throw more resources at during it. But I'd love to see him playing around a little bit more with that sort of stuff. Now, how you balance a mode like that, I have no idea. But I also don't think it would matter as much if it's just like a fun arcade mode.
For sure.
All right. Well, if you guys want us to respond to any of your comments, make sure you drop those either on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, or YouTube, and we will pick out some more for next week. Appreciate everybody who sent over their thoughts this past week. But Seth, I'm going to skip our weekend rivals for now because our whole topic is about our early thoughts on season 4. So we'll be talking all about what we got up to in game and what we thought about it. So let's just jump straight to the news. And we have tons of skins coming to the game this week. And the first skin that we are going to talk about is the Invisible Woman Azure Shade costume.
Oh
More,
yeah.
more and more. I'm playing this trailer that's linked there, but more beach costumes. Seth.
I'm down for it. I mean, it's always warm somewhere in the world, and so I think there's infinite potential for stuff like this. It's still. Are we in autumn yet? Has autumn actually begun?
I think so.
Okay. Well, whatever. It's close enough. I appreciate a little warmth in a time like this. I want to talk about I think some people try to deny um the sexualization of some of these skins. I want to point out just how they take like a full 5 to 10 seconds just to focus on her ass, like from the back. They're just showing it. They want you to see exactly what it looks like. It's just there. But other than that, and not exclusively for that reason, I really like this skin. You had to talk me out of. I've got like 3,300 units or 34, just enough to buy like the whole Fantastic Four First Steps bundle, and I was so close to doing that. You said you would hold out, and I'm glad because when I actually took a look at this skin, it just looks awesome. I like the sound effects and like the ult effect where it kind of looks like you've got this kind of random water tank, water funnel, water cylinder or whatever. And it kind of mutes everything like you're underwater. I think that this is awesome from top to bottom. So I will definitely be buying this and keeping an eye out for whatever's coming up next. So I'm glad that I waited and didn't just let those units burn a hole in my wallet.
Yeah, I love the skin. I love the design. I love the multiple color options that they show throughout this video as well. I think the visual effects for the ult are really cool. You know me, you know my feeling about the kind of updating of the sound effects and stuff like that, it tends to kind of throw me off. But the rest of this, I'm all about. This is definitely like an instant buy for me as well. I've got enough
Yeah,
tokens. This is a character that I used to main, and this might be enough to get me to want to play Invisible Woman even more. Now, I do want to say mid-September for summer skins is kind of weird, and I don't really understand the timing of this and like the sort of wave rollout that they did, and now it's like technically fall for us, and I'm just not in this kind of mindset anymore, so this doesn't speak to me quite as much as it maybe would have in, say, July.
sure. Yeah.
We're also getting this Punisher skin, though, the Aqua Arsenal skin, and I've got the picture for the ad up. I didn't link the full skin, but you know what it looks like, Seth. He's got the Punisher skull in the crotchal region and his hairy legs being exposed to the elements. What are your thoughts on this skin? He's also got a
It's
GoPro. I just noticed that.
Oh, no, I didn't notice that either. I mean, this is cool. It's not enough to like convince me to really want to play a lot of like more Punisher. I like the kind of Super Soaker or whatever he's got there going on. I think that's what it is, if I remember from looking at the
Yeah,
larger image at some point. But yeah, this is cool. Yeah, one of these days I'll mess around with him a little more, but I don't think the skin's gonna like drive me to do that.
for sure. Then we have a new summer special volume 2 event coming, and that's going to include 3 more summer skins, including 2 premium skins and a free skin. The 2 premium skins are for Human Torch and Mantis, and then the free skin is another thing skin.
I
Um,
love it. I love it. I'm glad they did because this is like even better than the other one. The other one's pretty basic, pretty simple. This is just what is he wearing? Is that a shirt? Is it a kimono? I don't or like a romper set?
it looks like matching Hawaiian shirt and Hawaiian shorts.
Okay. And it's got kind of like a little rope belt or something like that. Either
Yeah.
whatever it is, I love it. I love the Johnny Storm thing, like the vibe with the pink shirt open with the man muscles flowing under there. I like all of this. I will be buying this pass, even though I don't play Human Torch. I'm a Lord Mantis, but I rarely play Mantis. But I want this stuff, so it's sold. Give it to me now.
Yeah, I'll be buying this too. The thing skin's great. The mantis skin is great. If I ever play Human Torch, it'll be nice to have that. Um, I don't know. It's weird that we got 2 thing skins in the same theme, you know. But I also get that I don't think the thong skin was like a road mapped skin. I think that was like them leaning into a meme that had kind of caught on that people wanted to see, because you're right, it's really basic. There's no other element to it, no visual sound effects, visual change, no sound effect changes. It's literally they just put them in black underwear and didn't really do anything else. So I imagine this was the skin they were planning to do for the thing all along, and they just didn't want to shelf a good design for another year just because they gave the community what they wanted in the thong skin. So my first thought was to get up in arms, but the more I thought about it, the more I was like, okay, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean, how can you argue? Like, if you get a skin that looks good and it's free, what the hell's the problem? Like, just take the stuff.
And was the thing skin, the thong skin, the free skin in that pass too, or was it
I
the?
I won't. I think so. I want to say
Let's
so.
see. I'm gonna double check that because I got something wrong in last week's episode, and I didn't like that.
Did
Uh,
people ring you for it, or you just didn't
yeah,
notice? Oh, okay.
yeah. Well, I was talking about how we hadn't gotten a Bucky skin in a while, and I had forgotten about the duality skin that he got in August in the shop with the like
Gotcha.
um
The plague doctor
yeah, plague
mask,
doctor mask,
the
yeah.
beak, the beak. People give us a break. It's a game, and a lot happens. There's a lot that goes on in this
Yeah.
world.
Yeah, a lot happens, and yeah, we oh, I guess he did have the lay around his neck as well, not just the thong.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
yes, it was a free skin in the 2. Hold on. Is that right? Hold on. I'm pulling up the
Mm-mm.
wiki because I don't want to get this incorrect. Which was the paid skin?
He's doing it for you people.
Okay, so the thing was a paid skin in that. The Thor one was the free skin.
Uh, uh, Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we didn't mean to lie to you. Please forgive us. Um, all right. Let's see. Anything else regarding skins? I think that's it. This is Mantis's first like new skin in ages. I do know that she hasn't gotten a shop skin in forever. And did she have she didn't have a skin in the last battle pass? I don't think, right?
Not
So
that I recall.
yeah, it's been a while.
Don't
So
look it up. Like
I'm not
let
looking
the
it up.
people tell us if they're
Yeah.
wrong.
All right, let's move on to the next story. This one is from the Marvel Rivals League subreddit, and this comes via Rivals Info. Loot boxes could be coming to Marvel Rivals at some point in the future, and this is again from Rival Info. It says loot boxes could be coming to Marvel Rivals at some point in the future. In Season 4, logic for the quote mysteries player component was reintroduced. Mysteries is the code name for loot boxes. Within this component, there are multiple references to mystery box logic, such as Cosmic Mysteries number and box open history change, which further confirms that it relates to the old loot box system. And this image that I don't have up on the screen, now I do. The image below shows what it might have looked like when the logic was still in the game. Seth, did you think we left the loot boxes in the past?
I mean, I thought it was gone. It's always had the potential to come back. This might be a hot take. I did not hate. Well, a pause. I'm gonna say I did not hate loot boxes like in Overwatch or they were everywhere once upon a time. I don't hate them by themselves, like in and of themselves. I think it's fine as long as you have some self control. There's a whole issue and conversation to be had because gambling addiction is real. But me personally, I don't mind that kind of stuff, especially if I have the option to get what I want just by purchasing it a la carte or whatever. I like the idea of this. Like, if you kind of want to gamble a little bit, try to take a cheap way to get something that you want. I appreciate having. I don't think Overwatch at that time did they have like the full dedicated marketplace like like Rivals
No,
has for skins.
No, they had like I think they had like a rotating shop, but most everything you unlock via loot boxes. And Overwatch actually brought the loot boxes back recently.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if this did come out in some capacity at some point. I mean, it's cool. I'll buy a few of them or, work to get some of them. I liked them as a reward, but I much prefer kind of the model that they have right now where you just like you buy these passes, you work through them, and you kind of like have these different ways to get what you or maybe not different ways, but you have different ways to get different things that you want. You can buy it, you can work for some things in a pass. I just don't like the idea of spending hundreds of dollars just to try to get one thing that you can only get from a loot box, if that makes sense. But
Yeah, especially if it's like skins and stuff like that. I don't want there to be anything that's exclusive to a loot box. I don't mind it being like sprays and emotes and emojis and those sorts of things that you're able to unlock. And I think it's a good way to kind of recycle old content too. Had all these different passes that might not work their way back into a shop in some kind of full capacity. So folding that into a loot box system, I don't think is a terrible thing. So long as they don't start going like, okay, now this skin is exclusive to loot boxes. You can only find it in loot boxes, and it's got a 0.05% chance of getting pulled at the end of the day. Like, um, so yeah, I'm okay with that. I am kind of curious with companies who start to add this stuff because there are certain regions of the world where you're not allowed to have systems like this, or you're at least not allowed to have systems like this in a game that's rated E or teen or whatever that country's equivalent is, right? Um,
right, so
so how
that's
do you work
interesting.
around that? And I think some games will just like region lock it, where if you have an account set up in that region, this is just not a mechanic that's available to you, or what. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. This kind of makes me a little nervous, but if they do it right, still give us the option to just buy stuff outright. I'm okay with it, and also reward people for pulling duplicate items, so that you don't just have like 40 of the same emoji in your inventory.
Yeah, yeah. I like the idea of having old stuff recycled through these. Like maybe have it as an access point for stuff that you maybe just didn't want to buy before or something like that. Maybe putting old stuff in there just to have it in the rotation in the mix.
Yeah. Um and have opportunities to like get back units and you know, uh whatever the yellow lattice and stuff like that as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah, so you can get what you want or something else, if you keep pulling duplicates or something like that. So you get something out of it.
Yeah. Then we have another kind of rumor leak. Somebody, the mod removed it. Um, oh, because this was on the main subreddit, not the Marvel Rivals League subreddit. But
Mm.
um, it's sort of unofficially known that Rogue is going to be a character coming up soon, and it's very likely that Rogue is going to be a strategist character that kicks off season 5 of Marvel Rivals. And so, uh, Seth, I just wanted us to do a little bit of wild speculation here on what Rogue would look like. What do you think Rogue as a strategist should be able to do?
Like just kind of spitballing, just wild speculation. I would love like some creative animations with this because like Rogue, it's been a while since I've like really thought about Rogue much, but isn't her thing like she touches you and she takes your power kind of thing?
Yeah.
I would love like some kind of animation. I don't know how it would look, how it would work, but like just something to where like because she needs that contact. Um, there's got to be something either in the lore or some kind of animation where she touches someone or something and gets that like healing power, or if she needs to do damage, she maybe touches somebody who's more like kind of a traditional DPS character or something like that. That's just me thinking like how do you kind of justify the nature of her powers in the overall Marvel lore? What are the consequences for touching her if she gets up close and personal? I feel like maybe that could be her damage element is maybe that she just touches people and does like incredible damage to them or something like that, or hard C sees them or something, kind of stuns them, makes them look skeletal or something like that. Some potential for some cool animations there where they kind of look like they're sucked dry or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that because we have a duplicate character already, right? With Loki, like, and so your first thought, I think, with Rogue is like give her the ability to just steal somebody's powers and use them abilities and use them for herself. But we already kind of have that with Loki. But also thinking about the sort of strategist angle, I think one thing, dude, ever since we talked about Blade with the anti heal and like attaching that to some kind of a grab, I love the idea more and more of, sort of these like external effects from the primary move that you did. And so, like, yes, you would have the grab and the stun on that, but the subsequent thing would be the anti heal. For Rogue, with her being a strategist, what I would love is if she's like a melee character, and when she uh, melees people, she steals their power. Obviously, that they take damage, and maybe she can stack and do some sort of residual damage if she lands a couple hits in a row. But for each hit she lands, she creates like a healing aura around her, like a healing
Mm.
field. Um,
I really like the idea of her getting kind of brawly and being able to get in there, kind of Emma style. But like if you just make contact with her in any way, like there's some kind of consequence, maybe. I like it as long as there's like physical, like if you're going up against like a Hulk and Hulk's got to get down and dirty, like right there beside her. Maybe there's some element of damage when you make that contact. Um, I like the idea. What about if so you touch people, you damage them. That's kind of a whole thing. What if like she's kind of a chameleon where you could like like you could swap out other strategist powers or something like that. Like you could if like based on the situation, you could kind of use some kind of Jeffy abilities. I don't know how that would look coming from a human, but maybe, like, you can use
Mm,
some of Loki's powers, like, he used his kit for a little bit, or at least 1 or 2 of his abilities. Then maybe you SWAT to something else. I'm imagining, like, a wheel, like, wheel selection you could kind of scroll through, and maybe it's on a timer or something. I don't know. There's a
yeah.
lot of potential for something like
Or she
this.
gets like
It could
Luna Snowball or like Invisible Woman's Vortex Field or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, so she can kinda, like, pick and choose, so I think that's kind of a way, like, you're not recycling the same thing again, but you're kind of like you got all the hits, like, all the greatest hits from all your other support characters too.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think the ultimate would just be some sort of like you're saying, big stun, right? Where
Mhm.
she's able to touch somebody, steal their power, and uh, just take them out of the fight for a considerable amount of time. Because that's kind of her whole thing, right? Is like, don't touch me. You can't touch me and survive. Like, um, that's Gambit's whole. That's the rub with Gambit, right?
Right, or the rub, and plus too, she can fly, in a lot of the stories too, so she's
Hmm.
got potential to be another flying support too, or maybe she could alternate between like kind of like Angela does as a tank. So I think there's all kinds of potential for her. It's really exciting. I hope that even just a little bit of what we're talking about comes true if she, in fact, is a season 5 character.
Yeah, the rumor right now is it's Rogue and then Gambit. Gambit would be
Mm.
tight too. Gambit's my favorite X Men, so I would. He'd probably be a duelist though, right? So
I would have to imagine, and I would be fine with that. Like that just makes sense for him. I like when they can make somebody a tank or a strategist. Then go for it by all means. But some people, I mean, it just fits. It feels good. I just don't want them back to back to back.
yeah, for sure. All right, well, let's jump in and talk about season 4. Seth, we got to play together quite a bit. I've played a little bit by myself solo. We both had a chance to play some games on Angela and try some stuff out. So yeah, that's going to be our topic for the day, is talking about all things season 4. And let's start with the big lady herself, Angela. Seth, you've had, how many games did you get in with Angela this weekend?
It started off rough. I was having trouble getting to her because people were just insta locking her. But first night I was able to get at least a good, I feel like 3, 4 games in, something like that. She was definitely kind of different at first, but I love her. I absolutely love her. She's going to be one of my main tanks for a while moving forward. I've affectionately named her Big Lady. 'Cause, I mean, she's just huge. I was not ready for how big she is, and I love it. She's got that Lady Dimitrescu or whatever from Resident Evil energy. She's just a big lady, and she's not ashamed of it. She's showing you everything she's got, and I mean, she's just a powerhouse. She's so hard to kill in a lot of ways, unless like some people are hard focusing her. If you got that Scarlet Witch or somebody, I feel like you almost have to have that witch ability to just kind of get a lock on her. And so she's been kind of a hard counter. Maybe Thing's kind of a hard counter for her too, if he can leap to her. But overall, I'm really happy with her and what I've kind of done so far. As long as you've got a healer that knows to kind of look out for a flyer,
Mhm.
then you're in pretty good space.
Yeah, I was a little I got to play quite a bit with her, and I played a couple games even today. Um she's a terrible solo tank. I'm just going to say that.
Well, sure, yeah.
Anytime you're in a game and you're the only one tanking, Angela's not going to be the choice, right? But I do think she kind of fills in a lot of unique roles for tanks that we don't kind of see, right? Because she has the ability not only to dive in the back line, but to displace people and kind of pull others out of position. She almost has like a Wolverine kidnapping on a much shorter cooldown with her ability to kind of thrust out of her flight. And one of the things we played a game, I don't know, 2 nights ago where we had a Penny Parker on our team, and I was playing as Angela, and I was like, "This is fun as fuck," because I'm just kidnapping the backline and flying them into the penny mines and killing them. Like, I just think she presents a lot of interesting options for play that you don't normally get with a tank. I guess with Emma, you kind of get her kick, but you don't have as much control as you do with Angela's spearing ability.
Mm.
And then there were just a couple things from playing her that I were kind of my first immediate thoughts. The first thing is her flying speed is insane. Like she's
Yeah.
so much faster than any other flyer in the game. Human Torch, Iron Man, even with boost, like it's really easy to get too far out ahead of the play, first and foremost. But secondly, like, why is she so much faster than everybody else? I guess the one thing is like she's a much bigger target, right? If she moved slower, she'd probably be a lot easier to kill. But
Hmm.
it's still a little jarring because she moves so much faster than really everybody else in the game. Um, and then the second thing was I I like how she feels on the ground when she has her axes out. But as I was like in the practice range with her, kind of testing out her abilities, and then as I was playing games, I was kind of like, it feels like she's missing an ability while she's on the ground, right? So when you're flying, she has the passive where you gain the charge attack. She has the ability to dash and spear people, and then she has her primary fire. And then when she drops to the ground, she leaves that kind of AOE that people take damage in. But really, once you're on the ground, the only thing you can do is hack. And every fourth hack, you get a little dash forward.
So you said that when we first started playing, and like of course I played around with her and got to experience that too. I don't mind that part as much. I feel like it incentivizes you to spend more time in the air, and kind of just like strategically think about when you're going to drop down to the ground. You're not super powerful on the ground, but you kind of have a little balance there too, because if you land, then you've got an AOE going on, and you can use that to your advantage. Especially if you're like dropping into the enemy back line and trying to get to their healers or something like that. So I don't mind it as much. I definitely see like there is potential to have kind of more there, but I think that she might almost be too powerful if she had that ability on the ground. I like that she's kind of limited. I feel like that's kind of a balance thing in my mind.
Yeah, I think the only thing I could think of that I would maybe want her to have while on the ground is, and this could be on a long cooldown, but the ability to throw one of her axes. Because there's so many times where I'm on the ground hacking and slashing at somebody, and they're just, able to get away really quickly, especially if I dive like a Luna Snow or something like that. And just something to be able to follow up on the damage that I just dealt with without having to go through like the animation of getting into flight. And then, like you lose a lot of time. But you're probably right. Like another ability probably just makes her too strong on the ground and doesn't give you enough reason to want to get up in the air with her. But
Yeah, I mean, again, she's a force to be reckoned with when she's in the air, especially like unless you can just get a lock on her with somebody.
and the damage she does when she's fully at charge with her spear feels really good too. Um, when
Hmm.
you get that little sound effect for when she hits her fully charged spear shot, super satisfying. Who are some of the tanks that you feel like she plays really well with right now?
Of course, I feel like Thor. I mean, they've got that pairing for a reason. So yeah, with that team up, that's an opportunity for sure. I think as long as you've got like a solid shield tanker, somebody on the ground who's there to kind of like catch the damage and draw attention, that kind of leaves some room for you can almost like there's a lot of potential for flanking with her, kind of sneaking around from the sides or through a hallway or something like that. Like right before a choke point or right before a doorway, on convoy or one of those maps. Uh, yeah, again, I've liked all my time with her so far. As long as you've got heals that know to look for you and can kind of back you up in a fight, then I think she's a great pick.
Yeah, I think my first thought when I saw her was like, man, she's going to be a lot of fun with like Venom or Captain America or like somebody she can kind of get into the back line with. But I think you're right. Like I think she thrives on having another tank who's able to kind of absorb the pressure that a normal tank would have, because you're up in the air, you're not kind of the big wall between you and the rest of your team. So yeah, it's really important to have like a Magneto or a Thing or a Strange. I think Thing is a really fun pairing with her, because he has the ability now with the new button he got last half season, to kind of get to the back line with her and get out, but he's still a big enough body doing a lot of damage, to absorb the pressure. Um, but she's fun. I do feel like she is one of those characters where it's like I feel like I have to do a lot more with her to accomplish the same amount that I do with like a Thing, where it's a lot simpler. I just like jump to the back line and start punching. With Angela, there's a lot more stuff to consider. Her shield is great. It kind of taking some pressure off of her when she starts getting focused. But there's games where I've like thought I was going ham in the back line, and then I'll like look at my damage and I'm like 3,500 for the whole game. What the hell?
Yeah, I think there's kind of a learning curve for that, which I'm sure will get kind of easier as we spend more time with her. But yeah, overall, I'm pleased. I do, especially with her potential. Maybe she's not a high damage. I think Captain America kind of has the same problem sometimes, or at least especially in some earlier seasons. Like he has a lot of great potential, and he's great at harassing the back line. He's great at stalling points or stalling fights, stuff like that. But he sometimes he just doesn't have the kill the factor that a lot of other characters might have, a lot of other tanks, or he might just not have as much damage, because he does have to get us so up close and personal, and then kind of escape and go back. But yeah, I mean, there's potential for that. It's just kind of a different style of a fight. And yeah, I'm gonna keep on rocking with my big lady.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's definitely a trade-off, right? Like you can't have as much mobility as Angela has or as Captain America has, and like be able to two tap a healer in the back line. That would just get too frustrating. But I do think that as far as like the play style goes, you are much more trying to be a disruptor rather than you are necessarily trying to like frag out and get a bunch of kills, because uh, the games I'm most successful with are where I can just stay alive and be in the healer's face all game and kind of use my shield to cut them off from the rest of their team, and then just give them something where they have to worry about it. Maybe I get lucky with a spear and drag a healer up to the rest of my team in front of their front line or something like that.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, let's talk a little bit more about some of the other stuff in season 4. I'm loving the skin rotation. Uh, the
Yes.
skin
Yeah.
randomizer. What a great quality of life thing uh, to do. Um, it also, I think, makes you realize though how little I like any of the default skins, because the default skins are all like kind of in the rotation to begin with, and I forgot to take them out of a couple of them. So I was like playing a
Yeah.
cloak and dagger game, and I just got her default skin, and I was like, "Wow, this is underwhelming compared to everything else I own for own for her."
Yeah, fortunately, I realized that as I was setting it up the first time, so I was like, "Oh, let me go ahead and just take that out." I mean, I appreciate the default skins, and like as they are releasing like the Funko Pops, I'm picking those up. I would love for them to start releasing like Marvel Legends figures or something, a little bit bigger, where you can kind of pose them and stuff like that. I will definitely. I'll have a whole Rivals collection one of these days because again, I just love the game. But I'm looking forward to the day when that inevitably happens.
Yeah. Um. One thing we didn't talk about with Angela, going back to that real quick, is her ult. I love her ult. Her ult feels awesome. You feel like super powerful throwing that little spear. If you throw it towards the back line, kind of CCing everybody and getting up in the face, it's great at kind of comboing with, really any big damage ults, right? Like I was playing with an Iron Fist
It's
who,
kind of got like it's got like Groot vibes
yeah,
too. Like it kind of locks people down at least temporarily, not maybe as hard and not for as long, but yeah, if you're coordinated enough, then you can link it with anybody. Iron Fist sounds like a dream.
yeah. I was playing with an Iron Fist who was just holding his ult until I had my ult, and he was just cleaning up every single time, and that was a lot of fun. But yeah, The Thor stuff, I've been playing a lot more Thor lately. Have you tried Thor in a team up with her yet?
Not yet. I've seen him, and like I've watched some of the kids at school. I've got a guy who's trying to learn Thor right now, and watching him, it seems like fun. I miss Thor. I'm just having too much fun exploring other people right
Hmm.
now.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been playing a little bit more Thor, and he's got a lot of buttons to begin with, and a lot of things to kind of keep up with and manage. And then adding one more thing in with the Angela team up is a little overwhelming for somebody who hasn't really played Thor before. But I'm loving it. I think the team up's really fun. It gives him another kind of source of mobility for a character that's already really mobile, and he also kind of gives that grounded. Point of pressure for people to focus on so Angela can kind of fly around and do her thing too. So um they did they had like the nerfs to Cap and stuff. I was going to ask you, like, does have you kind of felt a difference with Cap
Not
this season?
not personally, and I probably haven't played enough of him since 4 drop on Friday, but in the little bit that I have, not really. I feel like I've still been playing about the same level and still having the same success and the same problems, but I haven't noticed a dramatic change.
Yeah. uh I'm trying to I'm looking through these patch notes just to see if there's any other characters that I've kind of noticed. I think the only real character that I've seen a lot more of as a result of this patch has been Scarlet Witch. Like, I feel
Yeah,
like
and
I
that's
see
probably just to mitigate the Angela. Yeah.
that, and just the fact that, like, she has the new pull ability, like pull with her ultimate ability. She can get
Mm.
healed through it, so like she's a little more viable on those fronts too. I've played like 3 competitive matches since the start of the season, soloing, and Scarlet Witch has been in every single one of those that I've played as well.
Yeah,
So
we need to hit that grind, so,
yeah,
at least a little bit. I want diamond this season at least, at the very least.
yeah, me too. I want to stop falling back down to bronze. These resets.
It's just finding the time, it really is.
Dude, I played a game earlier where, like, I was playing as a cloak and dagger, and we were attacking on Eternal Night, the New York one, and it was just one of those, like, it felt like a team deathmatch. It was a very bronze esque match. It just felt like team deathmatch. We had an Angela and a Hulk that were just not on point. At one point, I looked around and I was like fighting a strange 1v1. Nobody else on my team was dead, but I was like the only one on the point because everybody else was just like off doing their own thing. And I'm like, just, I need to get out of here. So that motivated me to play a little bit more
Yeah,
ranked because I don't want to
yeah.
get reset here every season.
Yeah, one of these days we'll get around to it. I just have so much fun playing, like, who I want to play, as long as it's in a comp that makes sense, and I know, like, in comp, I'm gonna be a little bit more pressured to play what we need, and it's not always what makes me feel good in the limited time that I have. So, my goal is going to be to get a little bit more competitive this season. But again, like it's a time thing, and if this stuff's too constrained, I'm probably still going to be spending time in quick play. But I love quick play. I just love playing the game, so I'm going to be happy either way.
Yeah, I love being able to. I'm with you. I like being able to play what I want to play, not what I feel like I have to play. But I also feel like I've been playing long enough now where I kind of feel good with just about every tank, just about every healer. So if it's not Loki or Venom, like, I feel like I'll be okay. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm excited to jump into some more ranks. Any other final thoughts on any changes in season 4?
No, I think just overall, I'm very pleased. I've felt a lot more like playing the game. I think they've changed up or added just enough stuff to kind of make things feel new and fresh. So on the whole, I'm back in. I'm thinking about the game a little bit more now than I maybe was toward the end of season 3.5. So keep it up, rivals. Keep those cool stuff coming, and we're gonna be along the way with you for it.
Yeah, I just want a new map. That's all I want. The start of these seasons always feel a little empty without a new map, but I also get where they're trying to be smarter about the cadence of their content releases, especially since everybody just rushes to play the new character anyway, and that's all most people care about. So,
Yeah.
um, Cool. Well, we're gonna do that this week. We're gonna let's play some rank together and see if we can get back into our climb. I am a little nostalgic for those days where we were really into it and really, hard focused on reaching some goals, but it just can get so sweaty uh, in some of those
Yeah, it
lobbies.
was it was the best of times, it was the worst of times, like, I really enjoyed, like, I think that was the first time I've ever really gotten into a ranked grind, like that, but also, like, it was stressful, and I didn't really enjoy that part, like, kinda getting miserable when you hit that loss streak
Hmm.
and feeling like you wanna blame the gods or you wanna blame the algorithm or whatever, and you're looking for like, what went wrong. Um, so yeah, I don't miss that, but I do miss the competition. I do feel like competitive is the place to go when you want competition. And I mean, that's why it's called that, right? So like when you want those kind of grindy matches, and you kind of want to test yourself for sure. Maybe not in bronze, but as you're climbing the ranks, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I definitely want to spend some more time, win or lose, in there this season.
dude, I would personally love to find some like organized play, and I know you're like super busy, but I love watching rivals competitive and like seeing that game played at that level with that type of communication. That's not what I want when I play comp, right? Like I don't want to jump on the mic and start shot calling for people, but if I can find an environment where like I'm playing consistently with the same, you know, five people in like pickup games or in, some sort of like organized matches once a week or something like that. I would love to play like that, because I miss like back in the day playing sports and just having kind of like that level of competition to look forward to. And I think it
Like
would
you go
take
to the
some pressure off on the comp
Yeah.
grind too.
Like, you go to the park, you're looking for, like, you just, like, you see some kids there, this is when you're still a child, not like us today, but, when we're children going to the park, looking, just kinda seeing some kids, maybe you know them, maybe you don't, but you're like, "Hey, you guys wanna play a game?" And you just kinda get together, you do it, and then you make plans to meet up the next weekend or whatever, get mom and dad to drop you off and do the thing. So yeah, I would love that. I just wonder what that environment looks like. How do you do that in the digital age when you could be playing with God knows who?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and
yeah, there should be a kind of a better. I don't know what better looks like, but it would be great to have some kind of more vetted system to kind of connect you with people. But
mhm.
again, I have no capacity for what that looks like.
Well, I know back like in Overwatch, there were, Discord servers for like pickup matches and, even organized like league play and stuff like that. And so I'm sure stuff like that exists for rivals. So if you guys are listening to this episode and you know of any of those sorts of communities, feel free to send them over my way. And look, dude, we have enough people, I think, that listen to this show every week between YouTube and like our podcast that if we wanted to start up some kind of a Discord server at some point and just have other Marvel Rivals fans and listeners of the podcast join in. The cool thing about doing podcasts is not a ton of kids listen to this shit. It's all just guys our age that listen to podcasts. So we'll probably get a lot of people who are like us. So if you guys are listening and you either A, know of people who run a server where they play pickup matches and stuff like that, or you are B, interested in us possibly starting a rival banter server or something like that. Let us know in the comments, and we might consider starting something up like that. So, but we're gonna get out of here. I think we both have some stuff we got to get to, so we're gonna cut this episode just a little bit short in comparison. But Seth, what are you getting up to in game this week? What's the Lord grind for you right now? Still Cap?
So yeah, I'm in Centurion. I'm maybe like a quarter of the way through. That may be generous, but yeah, somewhere in that ballpark with him. Definitely still on the agenda, but I'm kind of like split in a lot of different ways right now. I've been playing a little bit more Invis here lately, not just because of the skin, but like that was just kind of an added incentive when I found the skin. I was like, "Oh, cool! I've been playing more Invis. That would be a great use of some of those units that I've been wanting to spend." Playing Invis, playing a little more Ultron too, kind of here and there depending on the game. And yeah, so I'm kind of split like four ways. Angela, of course, too. So yeah, I think the biggest focus is cap still, but I'm kind of a little bit more spread out, and that's kind of slowing down the game for that grind in particular.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just my kind of goals just keep rocking with that. I'm gonna get that swimsuit tomorrow. Is that when it comes out
Yeah, I
or
think so.
Friday?
I think it comes.
Okay,
It's either tomorrow or Thursday.
probably Thursday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I'll get my days mixed up, but yeah, got that going on. I've been playing. This is not Marvel Rivals, but I've been playing a little Fortnite, just kind of dabbling in it. And which is weird to start playing Fortnite. I feel like in 2025, but whatever. I played in like 2018 for a month or two, just really casually. It's one of the games that we could play. Like we can play a certain game mode in Fortnite for our high school league, and so I would like to just kind of know more about the game. We haven't had a team sign up to play it yet. It's just duos, so you wouldn't think it'd be hard to get people to do. But um, I would just kind of like to be a little bit more educated, kind of like with Madden, where I've been talking to you about trying to
Hmm.
get into that and just learn a little bit more about the ins and outs. But that's a whole nother beast. I feel like I'm going to be a little better equipped to learn Fortnite for now. What
Yeah.
about you?
Dude, I haven't really picked who my next Lord is going to be. I've been playing a little bit of Hulk. I've been playing a little bit of Thor. I'm trying to find that next tank that's kind of sink its claws into me like Thing did, but it hasn't happened yet. But there's also some other characters that I have lorded that I think I want to just make sure I don't get too rusty on because they're valuable and competitive. So like, I want to play a little more Emma. I want to play a little more Invis. I want to play a little more Luna. I might focus on mixing up some of that stuff rather than just kind of defaulting to Cloak and Dagger anytime I have to go strategist, just because I want to mindlessly, heal bot for a little bit. But
Yeah, yeah, and that makes sense. I need to do more of that. I think last season I played around with Cloak and Dagger a little bit more to make sure I'm not rusty, but and like Thor maybe a little bit, but I feel like it's kind of like riding a bike. To use that old phrase, like it just kind of comes back to you. Like maybe it takes a game or a few minutes, but you kind of find that flow pretty quickly. I've found.
yeah, for sure. So and then yeah, just jumping into the rank grind, trying to climb out of. I'm at the top of bronze, so it's not going to take me long to get out of that hell. But there's a long way to go before I'm going to start feeling like I'm getting quality matches because the three
Yeah,
I played have been
I
bad.
just my big goal is I just want one of those banners. I want something to kind of show off and kind of flaunt, at least a little bit. I know some people are going to look down on us peasants flaunting diamond level rewards or whatever, but
Fuck y'all.
whatever. Go fuck yourselves.
All right, guys. Well, we are going to get out of here. We appreciate everybody tuning in, checking us out this week. Let us know what you're getting up to in game this week. Follow us on podcast services on YouTube. Check us out on Instagram and TikTok at Rival Banter. Leave us comments, follow us, share, all that sort of stuff. Tell your friends about us and let us know about places where we can maybe find some competitive teams to play with. That would be fun too. Or if you want us to start a Discord server, let us know. But until next week, good luck in your games. We love you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.